Are we starting this now?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're starting
Welcome to the
now.
Brain Damage Podcast. Today we're here with a very special guest. This man has been through hell and back because he,
You know.
yeah, you know, Mr. Eggy Eggenstein, not to
Thank
be
you.
confused with Epstein, because they are
You know.
far disconnected from each other.
And not to be confused with Eggy, the band that I looked up when I looked up Eggy on YouTube. The first thing that came up was a random band from like Australia or something.
It's funny because half the people in this call knew who you were like 2 weeks ago, and Emmy and Big J here didn't know who you were.
I'm sure I saw you in some Mumkey videos, but other than that, I don't think I ever like knew you by name. Not gonna lie, unfortunately, I wish I did.
It's all right. No, I'm pretty much an old geezer at this point, so I can't really complain.
You know, well, let's start off with a simple one. Today's August 6th. You just today you recorded a live stream. How was your live stream, Eggy?
Well, I had a really wonderful time. I really had everything on the table. Didn't do a lot of freestyling today, but I had some wonderful multiplayer truckery. American Truck Simulator has been a sleeper hit for me these last couple weeks. One of my people gifted it to me with some of the DLC. They got like a bunch of different states in there you can drive through. It's all made off Google Maps data, so it's like 100% real, like real life. They even update the gas prices every day. I don't know how.
That's funny.
I said that shit. I meant to say that. I meant to say that's the shit.
It is also shit because you have to actually pay for the gas of the game and you have to make the money and everything. So, anyway, it's very realistic. But a lot of funny stuff. Really hit check all the boxes. So I had a pretty good one. I like to look at funny videos.
You get to like talk to other people, right? Like over the microphones or the walkies or whatever that are in the game.
Yeah, I just found out about that today because I played about I think like 5 or 6 hours now, something like that. So it's been mostly single player up until today, and then today I was invited. These guys like, yo, so I still don't even know how to do it, but they invited me to a convoy. And then when you join it, it says, "Oh, this is how you do." The screen pops up with all the information. So yeah, you can talk to each other in a text chat, and then also you have you can use your microphone, and it has like a filter over it to make it sound like a radio. So it's pretty legit.
That's good.
That's pretty cool. What kind of character have you found? Any colorful characters in the game, or are they all just like normal people?
Everything's been pretty normal so far. You can choose from like 500 different pictures, like when you create your driver or whatever. So I chose like this really ugly guy. I made it celibate hauling. And today, I mean, like, it's actually it's a little bit difficult because, like you have to have like it's not so hard, but like you get more points and like you unlock more stuff, get more money if you like drive skillfully. So that's what I was doing today when I was playing, but people in my chat were like, "Oh, snooze fest." So I just sped like as fast as humanly possible directly into a cop car, like ran him off the road and crashed into it and like flipped him. And like you don't get arrested or anything. I mean, at least I didn't. I don't think you can. I'm not sure, but I did get fined like $6,000 in game for all the. That wasn't the only thing I did. I did like a lot of different crashing and shit. But
and with the gas prices nowadays, that's a big tank to your funds, man.
The government should have deducted the gas that took to run over all those cars in the game. Like,
I haven't been able to find out how to do a write-off on my taxes yet in the game, but if it's as accurate as they claim it is, then maybe there should be something. But I'm gonna drive. They don't have Florida unlocked yet. I can't drive to Mar-a-Lago and meet up with Trump. It's like the western third of the country you can drive through right now. They're working on like adding Texas, but it's not ready yet.
Oh god, that sounds like that would be hell to implement.
I hope they make it realistic and make Texas its own country.
From what I've heard, from what I've heard from J-Man, who's been to Texas, he said that like he like was driving through there the whole time, and fell asleep for like.
Well, I wasn't driving. I was.
I know you weren't driving, but I mean, you were like taking a trip through there, and you said that you fell asleep and you were still driving through Texas by the time you woke up.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to San Antonio, the Riverwalk, to meet a family member.
How long was the drive? It was like 24 hours.
San Antonio? You mean the
hours.
literal worst place in Texas? I heard that place sucks. My
Well, I
girlfriend's
wouldn't
mom
know.
went there like last week, and she said that it smelled like sewer water everywhere she walked, and that
Was
there's
the
only
sewer
old people.
overflowing at the time though?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
that's
Probably.
true.
Is that just how they smell?
I guess so.
Or
The people there,
naturally.
maybe there's a whole bunch of old people. Maybe they're pissing and shitting
San
themselves
Antonio
all the
might be
time.
San Antonio might be the Texas equivalent of Los Angeles. So as far as I know, they're both would be
I
shitholes.
thought that
So
was Dallas.
you think
Oh.
Dallas? Maybe
It has to be the
it
biggest
is.
city in
Dallas. I mean,
Texas.
Dallas is the biggest city, but like I don't know. Maybe
Austin's
I've never
growing.
been there, so I've never been to either places. So I'm just kind of throwing fucking fumes in the fucking atmosphere right now.
All the
Damn.
negative chakra building up.
All the negative chakra energy. Do you think that shit's real, Eggy? Do you think the chakras and the negative energy type beat?
Believe in anything spiritual?
Well, I could agree with that because I feel like I feel like the Lord is the truth and the word of the Lord is the word that we need to follow. And so I think when you have because people say what they're going to say, but I mean, if you have everybody that's engaging in destructive behavior, which is pretty much the opposite of what like the Bible says or any holy text, but I'm going to say the Bible specifically. If you're engaging in continuous destructive like wild behavior, and that's just the normal, and that's kind of what everybody's doing. Nobody's going to really have a lot of good things going on if they're just repeatedly doing destructive things. So I think it's kind of self-explanatory, even just on sort of like a common sense angle. But we've just gotten to this point now where everybody, we're living very free of judgment, and but the thing is that even if we're not judging each other, the actions that we are partaking in, they were judged previously for a reason. We're still going to reap a negative result from bad choices, even if we're all like smiling at each other while we do it.
Yeah,
I
I get
agree.
it.
I agree. But I personally think when a person, probably of the female sex, comes up to me, and says like, "What's your star sign?" I will not hesitate to slap the shit out of her because that's
Yeah.
annoying.
Anyways, Eggy, you've been working out lately. I've been keeping up with you on your YouTube channel, and since Mumkey mentioned it, hope. Also, okay, let me just stick to one topic. But how is that like behind the scenes? Are you still keeping strong? Do you feel any regret after committing to it and whatnot?
Well, basically, in the last 7.5 months now, I've lost about 30 pounds. So,
Nice,
I did.
congratulations.
That was something. Have I probably done as good as I should have done overall? I'm going to say probably not. Like the last couple months, basically, I really had a lot of things going on with my family where I really had to put them first. And I love my family to every bit that you could possibly, like every molecule. I love them to death. But
Mhm.
no one in my family is very organized, and that as unfortunately also came to me. But the thing of it is that when I've been over the summer, I've been helping them with some things. If I decide, I'm going to go to the gym, there's a 50% chance that the second I walk in the door, I'm going to get a phone call. All right,
Oh,
we're going to do this
yeah.
now. It's like just getting a specific time and specific this and specific that. Any kind of ahead of time planning is pretty much just never
Yeah.
going to work. And the thing is if I say, oh well, I have something going on, I'm going to kind of get like a look like, well, you can get that later. You can do that later type thing, and it's like, all right, this is what it is. I'm a younger guy. I'm more capable. If my older relatives are in a dire need of me helping them with something, I don't have any problem with putting them first. I'm not going to
Mhm.
stop interacting with them or cut them off about it. I'm just going to kind of roll with it. They've been very good to me as well. They've been, compensating me for work and everything. So everything's been fine. But and even it was sort of a sometimes physically taxing work that I was doing. So I was like, well, I'm not just laying around. I'm not just laying in bed or whatever. So I kind of it made it make sense to myself that way, but I wasn't doing the specific training that I ought to have been doing to get the specific results. I've been more active, more healthy over the last few months than I have in probably the last like 5 years. But that being said, I wasn't specifically when it comes to strength training doing exactly what I needed to do to get the best results, and I do admit that.
Well, it's still very respectable that you did put in the effort, and it's just that you couldn't really commit to something that you had planned because of other unforeseen events, and it's still very respectable that you kept up and are still interested in doing it at this point, even after going off and on with it all.
I have no doubt in my mind that you can stay on your workout. You are not a stranger to endurance challenges.
30 pounds
You,
is no easy feat.
Well, not
yeah,
just that,
for
just
sure.
in general, your
Well,
whole internet experience.
because Eggy ate a whole thing of Play-Doh in 40 minutes, so that's how I know.
Did you know
But you
a
don't
couple
shy
months
away from it.
ago, I ate a raw beef liver while rapping at the same time on YouTube. I was pretty proud of that.
Oh my god, that sounds impressive. That sounds impressive.
Did you did you get sick from that? That sounds something you'd get sick from.
No, actually, I felt really good afterwards. I never
Wow.
got sick.
Damn, that
Maybe
maybe I should
Energizing.
get on
that
that beef
diet.
liver though.
Yeah, when I
Wow.
mentioned to people, they're like, don't you know? Like, I posted on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, on my Instagram story. I think it's somebody's like, just so you know, actually, that's really bad and unhealthy. I'm like, well, I'm fine. Sorry, some of us are different. I have
Some of us are
never
just
lived a
better.
particularly healthy life, and I'm sure it's catching up with me, has caught up with me, whatever you want to say. I might have shaved off a couple decades for all I know. But one thing I can tell you is that the only time I've gotten sick in the last 5 years that I could think of, I got COVID 2 different times. But so I guess I don't know. They had some kind of maybe it's because I'm fat. I think it's probably what it was, but. They had some kind of upper hand on me in that regard, but I haven't got sick from anything otherwise, and I've done plenty of things that were sickening. So I'm feeling like I feel all right about where I'm at.
Top of the world. Yeah, you've been preparing your body the entire time.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you get COVID twice, especially, boom, easy immune system boost. Let's go.
Yeah, the first time it was actually the end of 2019. I had just performed at a wedding. Nobody else got sick as far as I know, but I was in Florida and I performed at a wedding, and I flew back and I filmed something for Sam Hyde. He had this Theater of the Air on his Gumroad, and if you look it up, like I'm in it. I think you can actually find the clip on YouTube, but it was a pro cigarette ad, so I was like in the Walmart parking lot at like 4 a.m. smoking cigarettes, and now I had like a because I have a little bit of like acid reflux type thing. So sometimes I get heartburn, but I had something of a heartburn about a few weeks prior. But I thought, I just ate something, too much grease or too much whatever, because I'd eaten some bacon. I'm like, man, there was some extra bad heartburn one day. But I woke up the next day after I filmed that cigarette ad. I sent it to Sam, and I got up the next morning, and I actually had like significant trouble breathing. Like I was breathing. Yeah, like I could feel myself breathing, but I was not feeling like air going in. So basically, I got paid from Sam. Shout out to Sam. He always pays good for when you work for him. I took the entire paycheck and brought that right to the hospital. Pretty much got medication.
Wow.
I needed an inhaler, and I was on some medication and stuff for a couple weeks, but it ended up clearing up. But that was before COVID. All of a sudden, COVID comes around, and it's like, oh shit, I think I had that. Now I had it again this year. I was pretty much out for about like 2 weeks. The worst part of it really was like, I think the fever cleared up after a few days, but I had like it was like in my energy, in my voice and stuff for the 2 weeks after that. I just wasn't running on 100%. I was congested and just kind of icky. That part sucked the most, I think.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't really dabble in Senpai's content all too often, but when I do, it's pretty obvious that he pays well, respects you well if you just give him the decency of respecting him. So like he won't necessarily fuck you over, troll you or whatever if you are genuine with him up front.
Which is why iDubbbz got the shit end of the stick in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Because he obviously didn't go there to fucking respect Sam Hyde. He went there to shit all over him and be a dick. But anyways,
I'm glad that we brought up. I was gonna say that we would have the office normally, and it's funny that we brought up COVID because I actually had COVID this past week. That's why we couldn't actually have access to the office like we normally would. Otherwise, we probably would have tried to fly you down. But this is fine.
Yeah, just noise canceling rooms, like just really high quality gear. But we're at home now. I'm using my silly little snowball with my roommate in the background. You can probably hear him.
Me too.
Funny enough, I have a pretty funny story about COVID. When I was at my job, it took like 3 days to get my test results back to see if I had it or not. And the day I got my results back was coincidentally also the day I took my vaccine shot. And I was in my car on my way home, and I looked at my phone, and it said I had it. So during the time I had it, I took the vaccine, and like I was asymptomatic. So I guess it might have done that, but I'm not too sure.
I can't imagine it actually. Like, I think you just got lucky. I'm not gonna lie. Like fighting off both the disease and the shot at the same time probably would have
I
been
think if I
kind of
ever get it
fucky.
again, I'm gonna go take like 3 vaccines the same day, just to like, that's gonna be on the next wheel of something, next wheel of punishment. You gotta wait until you get COVID just normally, and then you gotta go get like 5 vaccines. We're gonna like go rob an armored truck and just like stash them in like under like Monkey's couch, and like next time one of us gets COVID, that's where we're gonna do the next wheel of punishment. We're just gonna administer multiple vaccines to see if we survive.
No,
That's a
it's
good-
that's a
like,
good one.
it's like when you did 5 shots of espresso. You have to actually put the vaccine in a shot glass and then pour 5 of them
my God.
into a cup
Oh
and
my
drink
God.
it all.
That would kill you.
Now that's a dank drink combo. Some Jack Daniels mixed with COVID juice.
COVID vaccine.
All right, guys. Today we're gonna be doing the best, the craziest wheel of unfortunate. What the fuck is it called?
Wheel of punishment.
Wheel of punishment.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wheel of Punishment. Today we're gonna be drinking. What is that,
5
Eggy?
vaccines.
5 gallons of COVID vaccine that we stole from an armored truck? Well, you know what,
Hopefully
Monkey? It is
we
what
don't
it
land
is.
on that.
It's the milk challenge, but with
You have
the
to
vaccine
drink all
shots
5 gallons of it. You have to drink all 5 gallons of it.
without throwing up or feeling sick.
Otherwise, they refill it with the rest that we stole.
Well, like when you spill alcohol, it like evaporates because it's like made of alcohol. Maybe you could like vape the COVID vaccine, and maybe it would like be able to be like consumed
Oh my God, that
more
could
that
work.
way.
That could work. Yeah.
Why aren't the FCC getting on this? Not the FCC. What is it called? FDR.
Whatever. It's the
Pfizer.
same shit. It's like one guy that just runs all of it. It's
And
like
all of them.
the way
one
that I
old
keep
white
on
guy.
the way I keep getting not banned on YouTube is just to keep on making shell companies to just repeatedly host my live streams over and over again. That's basically what the government is.
Yeah.
Do you get
exactly.
sponsors on your streams, Eggy?
What's that?
Do you get sponsors on your streams?
No, I did in 2018. There was a guy who would do people's homework for them, like he would write their papers, and he would pay me to like shout him out. But I haven't seen him in a while.
How much would you?
Well, this was I only really started making like real kind of money like on YouTube last year. Like last year, I made like $45,000 or whatever,
Holy
or
shit.
like
Hey.
Yeah. Big money.
But-
Big money.
But before, like, he'd sponsor me, maybe he'd pay me like $10, $15, maybe $20, and that was like pretty. A lot of people, I didn't really get donations. Sometimes on my streams, like it would sort of be like like 95% no donations. Then maybe like one guy would kind of chip in for certain things or whatever. I had kind of just, I basically was. I would just like live like very cheapskate mode and just sort of like if I didn't make very much money, as long as I was having enough to buy cheap liquor and whatever, I just didn't really care. But yeah, all of a sudden, sometime last year, I just kind of like hit a stride, basically, where a lot of people started kind of, I think the freestyles were a big part of it. Like I only started freestyling 3 years ago for Twitch when I was streaming on Twitch because I needed something to give people like appreciation if they did a paid subscription. But I think the freestyle thing really changed the game for me on YouTube when I went back because people wanted to pay me to do freestyles, and I feel like that was probably a big part of the money last year that I made.
Yeah. The
You must be
resurgence.
really good at that.
We would fucking plug anything on this show if people paid us $10. If you want your plagiarism homework service advertised on our show, feel free to message us on Twitter.
Message this email right now.
Man, we would shill so much shit. If you want to show like your THC company, we'd do that too. Just
Crazy
send us
9.
free shit.
Delta 9.
Delta 9, just send us free shit. We'll fucking advertise it to our
Hey, free
40
shit, just like
concurrent
my
viewers.
What if you had a Delta 8 company, but you called it Delta 10 and just like confuse people? There's
just
probably a
keep
loophole.
one-upping the last like just keep one-upping them.
Like, all right, this next one's from Delta 9000. All of you Dragon Ball fans out there, watch out. This is for you.
This THC infused gummy gives you the power of the Super Saiyans. Anyways,
This is the Frieza grape flavor. I've tried it myself. It's really great.
Eggy, since you mentioned, sorry to interrupt, but since you've
That's okay.
mentioned cursed, the wheel of wheel of punishment. I'm so sorry, I'm dyslexic. But since you mentioned that, it got me thinking. Really, I never heard of you until Mumkey brought you into a video, and I'm really grateful. You're an amazing content creator, and I love enjoying your content. But how did you ever meet Mumkey? Like, what is the beginning of that story?
Well, basically, we both come from the same background. So, when I was really heavily posting on R9K at the time, his Elliot content, because he had made, content before that, but the Elliot content, the reviews, it really took off like wildfire on the board. Like, so, I was immediately familiar with his content, basically as soon as he started doing that particular content. I mean, I remember there was probably a time where I was sleeping in this shithole shack that I was living in, because I started getting in the habit of having something on while I was asleep. I'm pretty sure that I fell asleep to him reading My Twisted World one time before I ever spoke to him.
Oh,
That's really
wow,
good.
yeah.
That is a very good thing to
Yeah.
sleep to. Since it's not on YouTube anymore.
Yeah,
think-
me and Manuel here are old-time fans of Mumkey, so we know all the old content. So it was interesting to hear he came from.
I remember the first time that I spoke to him, as I recall, was in 2017, because that was when I joined Twitter. Like, I'd had a Twitter since 2015, but I never really was much for Twitter. I never, like, social media just seemed really dumb to me, and I wouldn't spend any time on it. But in June of 2017, I met up with Ice Poseidon at the time. Just sort of a matter. It just was very spontaneous.
yeah,
We
yeah,
both
yeah.
ran into each other in California, and I just basically tagged along with him for a night. But when me and him like went our separate ways that night, he's like, "Yo, talk about your social media." So I was like, "Well, I guess I have a Twitter." He's like, "Yeah, man, you got to use it." So then at that night, that was when I started using it. But I remember
Yeah.
at some point, we had like tweeted back and forth a little bit, and he kind of like, "Oh yeah, what's up, Eggy? Like, I know about you," and I was like, "Oh yeah, big fan." But we had never. Then we talked to each other when we did the State of the YouTube podcast. That was probably the next time that we'd spoken to each other, was when I did that. I think that was 2019, as I recall.
I remember that episode. I also remember that there was a like mini documentary video about you, and I can't find it anymore. I was gonna send it to Sammy, but I guess it got taken down or something.
Yeah, this guy Prim Inc. He made a video about how I got blamed for the Oregon shooting, and it went super viral, which is actually why I came back to YouTube, because I had decided to quit. I didn't have an account for like 4 or 5 months in 2018, but the video went stupid viral, had like 500,000 views in 2 weeks.
Wow, yeah.
And everybody was, my Twitter went from like 2,000 followers to like 7,000 followers and shit. And I was like, well, I guess, people were just like, what? Where's this guy? Who is he? What's up? So then that's when I made a new account, October 2018, and I started streaming again at that time to kind of tap in with people. But what happened was it ended up, I was considered like too offensive or whatever, so it ended up getting taken down, I guess. But
that's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately. Times change, and instead of YouTube being for the creators, it's now for the corporations.
yeah,
As
the
a
craziest thing I
advertiser.
think about it, to me still though, I think if I go look here, so when Prim Inc. reached out to me about the video, he had 2,000 subscribers. He currently has 1 million.
Oh wow, so he blew up
But-
too because of that.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
like it put him from like 2,000 to like 100,000 just off that video, I think.
Wow.
And then he kind of got the ball rolling, but then he stopped uploading after a while because it got to be. I understand how it is. It was a little bit overwhelming, but
Yeah, it's very exciting and interesting to hear your just niche and big influences across the internet, pretty much, with all like the backstory and just who you choose to talk with and just like the proportion of influence you get. Like it's a really interesting story.
It's true. I've really, there's that song, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I think I kind of have been a lot of places. It's really been interesting. It's been a very, going from being a total retail wage slave with nobody in my entire life to
Wagey.
talk to, like, I didn't have like any friends or anything,
Yeah.
like nothing at all, to like all this crazy stuff that I've been through now over the last handful of years. It's been pretty interesting.
Would you say that it's luck that it happened, or because you pushed yourself into a position that allowed you to propel yourself?
Well, basically, I just sort of never had any reason to, like, if I had any idea, there was no reason to not pursue it as far as I was concerned. If there was anybody I wanted to try talking to, there was no reason to not email them. I couldn't see a reason anyway. I was like, if I step on somebody's toes or whatever, I never really approached anybody disrespectfully, I didn't think. So, I kind of I had people that I followed that I enjoyed what they did. And I was like, hey, I wasn't anybody. That was the thing. Like when I first worked with Sam Hyde, that thing that'll probably not be released for another 5 years at this rate. But anyways, he just saw me going around, and he that year, I went from I had nothing. Like I never even streamed before or anything. Then I just went and I put the pedal to the metal. I really grinded it out. I didn't have these skills, but I was able to develop skills just for being hard headed and really grinding it out. And he kind of saw me that I was getting around and kind of doing things, and he's like, okay, this guy, he's not just talk. He's really, he'll be willing to do whatever it takes to bring what he wants brought to fruition, like whatever he's got envisioning. So,
yeah, it's incredible to hear your tenacity and just like your willingness to really push yourself and to involve yourself into the internet and all that stuff. It's very
commendable.
Forgot the word. Commendable. Yeah, it's very commendable.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I hate to say this now, but I think I think I have to leave soon because there's a fucking giant ass thunderstorm outside my house.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask you this.
It's not like we're recording a podcast or anything.
Dude, I'm scared the power's gonna go out. Or like,
hey, it's alright. Just pause the thunderstorm, dude.
Just pause the thunderstorm for the Eggy podcast, please. I hate that
Tell
this is happening right now, dude.
Exactly what's going on.
He'll understand.
This is the most momentous occasion happened in human history, and he's doing this shit. Like, come on, bro.
God, come on, bro. You can't throw me a bone for the Eggy podcast. Man, okay, so before I head out, I want to ask you, I know the story that happened at Virgin Fest, but do you think that, wasn't there a second one called Doomer Fest? Were you invited to that?
Oh yeah, I performed at Doomer Fest. I feel like I did pretty good. Yeah, I had a good time. I know it was funny because I was really happy after Doomer Fest happened, because I'm like, wow, Virgin Fest was such a shit show. I still had fun, but it was really just a shit show. So I'm like, I'm glad everything went so smoothly. I performed my set with no issues at all. I was paid for what I did. I thought everything was all fair and square. Everything was good. And then I get back to my hotel, whatever. I'm chilling, and I'm like, I don't even think at that point I had any inclination that there was anything wrong. But I go and I like hit the flight the next day, and I fly back home. Whatever. I'm pretty much home to just kind of chill and take it easy for a minute. And I do a stream like a day or two after I get back, and the whole chat's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Whoa, it's everybody's hates each other. Whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, oh, it's on Twitter. I'm like, I haven't been on Twitter for 18 months now, or I guess 17 months. I was banned 17 months ago. I'm like, I don't use Twitter. I don't know.
Everyone give him a hand. He's sober.
Yeah, I've been using Twitter.
That's very commendable, Eggy. I cannot spend an hour off Twitter, let alone 18 months.
He's an addict.
As soon as I got
We've
banned,
been trying to talk to him about it.
I quit smoking cold turkey. It was easy for me to quit Twitter cold turkey. I had no craving to go back at all. But yeah, they're like, it's all this shit, and I'm like, I didn't have any. Well, this guy did this, and this was in their Discord, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I'm 30 years old. What somebody did this in Discord? I'm like, I don't give two shits. I got paid. I had fun. I don't give any fuck beyond that, to be honest. Like, I mean, I don't wish ill upon any attendee or anybody that was involved. If someone was hurt, you know what? I do sympathize, and I'm not gonna, just totally turn my back on their feelings or whatever. But to be honest, like, yeah, these are a lot of young people involved. They're gonna they have more of their own inner workings going on than anything I'm involved with. I'm pretty much just getting invited because I have like meme legacy status. So basically, that's my viewpoint on it. I had a good time, and I'm gonna keep doing me.
How did it feel? How did it feel meeting Negative XP?
It was nice meeting him actually because I had met him at Virgin Fest. I think that's the only time still that I've met him in real life. But he was a lot taller and chadlier than I expected. I mean, I had seen him before, but he's like 6'1", I think. He's he's kind of a
Manuel still beat him though.
Yeah,
he's kind of a okay, maybe I don't know. Like I'm about 6 feet even. He was I feel like me and him were kind of the same height. But he was, he was taller than I expected because I had seen some, there was some video on YouTube. Maybe you guys had seen it before from like years ago where it's like, oh, Negative XP performs 2018 or whatever it was. And it's like this small guy. So I'm thinking that's him. And then all of a sudden he's like straight up like chatted up. And I'm like, oh, shit.
He went through puberty.
Well, people thought he was short because he's Asian. But
so basically they're racist.
So basically they're racist.
Man,
but it's not like he cares anyways.
but yeah. You
can tell he's fanboying right now. He's like, "Oh my god,
you can
it's
tell
Eggy."
He's very nervous. He should have been here last night. He should have been here last night. We were talking to you before, and maybe wouldn't be so stuttery.
Well, the funny thing is, like, as far as Negative XP goes, like, I feel that he's a much more accomplished musician. I've been listening to him since, I believe, like March or April 2018. That was the first time I can remember for sure because I made a music video for one of his songs. But, like, I would go and, like, tap in on his streams and, like, donate and just, I don't really watch live streams, which is funny because of how much I stream, but I would just go in and kind of say hi, donate, and just kind of, say big ups or whatever. And he'd be like, this is just what it was at the time. This is probably like a year ago or something. He's like, yo, guys, Eggy's in the mix. Yeah, what's up, Eggy? This is so cool. And I felt like really, like, no, I'm not going to say I was blushing because that would be weird. But, I was like, Negative XP thinks I'm cool. I think he's cool.
OMG, he thinks I'm cool.
Do you think he's cute?
What? Whoa.
Listen, it's called Chad. All right, men, we don't talk. You're either Chad or you're Soy Jack. That's the most distinction we make.
Those are the only two.
Is he Chad or Soy Jack?
But yeah,
you can also be Soy Chad or there's in betweens.
Let's keep it simple.
That's too complex. There's
a spectrum. Some would say there's a spectrum between Chad and Soy Jack.
The Soy Chad spectrum.
Speaking of Soy Chad, so when I was on here last night, when you guys telling me about this guy, Papa Guts, I'm not sure if you want me to talk about that right now, but he actually somebody sent me a video today where he was like back in there again, and I was like, oh yeah, that's that guy I heard about the other day, and he's like, he's like defeating the chuds with facts and logic when he's like a very large man that looks literally like Soy Jack, and he has like walls of Funko Pops in the background, and he like made this video, or whoever this guy that sent this to me, he's like, listen, I am literally Chad, so all you fake Chads out there, like,
it's I don't
know, like it was just like funny to me that this guy he's like the bald version of comic book guy from The Simpsons, and he's like talking to some like red pill guy, and he's like, listen, you're not Chad, I'm actually Chad, and I was like, who is this guy? But I'm not gonna watch any of his content because it looks terrible, but
I guess we have to believe him since he said it. But yeah, real quick, going back, I just wanted to say I didn't get it out smoothly enough, but I just wanted to say that I kind of have the same mindset of just.
Never mind. I don't want to get into the details
about like just all the drama and circulating, like just stuff that you attend. Like it's best just to not give a fuck in reality. Like you do care for the well-being of others, but at the end of the day, like you only should really care about yourself and what personally affects you.
Are you going to perform at any places soon? Is Dick Masterson having a road rage soon with you in it? Because I thought I heard that somewhere.
Well, I did road rage in 2019 and 2020. I haven't heard. Somebody that works with Dick had messaged me and said they're gonna do like I don't know if it's New Project 3, but essentially it seems like it's something along those lines. Like they're doing another like alt Patreon kind of. This is what I heard through the grapevine, and if I wanted to be invited to it. And I was like, well, because I'm about to be starting a full-time job for the first time in years, just because with YouTube kicking me off a lot, it's kind of hard to make it work as well as it had before.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess maybe I could figure out something to, put some like kind of special content to make for it. But that's the only thing I've heard from anything to do with Dick Masterson anytime recently.
Will you be performing somewhere soon?
I'm not sure. I had been told about a couple more like fests of sorts, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like the whole fest thing has been a little bit because they literally had like Fed Fest, NPC Fest.
Fed?
I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
I feel like the whole fest thing is just kind of bad juju at this point. I'm
Yeah,
just
kind
kind
of
of
going
like,
too far, going off the rails.
It's probably just like super like like disorganized, just because like these are people that never like have done like real like serious like kinds of like gatherings. I'm sure that it's just probably like difficult for them to keep everything in order, unfortunately.
Okay, so while we're like in this little quiet stage, I think Sammy, you should restart the recording because I definitely have to leave now. The storm's getting really, really bad.
Restart the recording.
Yeah, like I'm gonna stop the recording on my end, like through Craig,
All right,
and you
fine.
start a new one because I have to leave.
Okay, that sounds fine.
It was
Whatever.
really nice talking to you, Eggy. Thank you for coming on the show. I really
My
wish I
pleasure.
stayed for the whole thing.
Well, I hope you stay safe, man. Take care.
Thank you.
He's
Thank you so much.
I like where we are from. Like for all we know, there could be a tornado about to destroy his house right now. So like whatever.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
As someone who has monkey in their username, I don't watch Monkey Jones that often. Surprisingly, I know. I did enjoy his Elliot Rodger content quite a bit though, but once he got fucking shafted for that, I kind of stopped watching Simmy and Jimmy. But that's not really his fault. It was I blame YouTube really for that.
Well, it's something I can kind of like relate to also because,
Yeah,
I
just
never
getting fucked over.
did streaming. I did a very particular kind of, like I never like set out to be like a content creator, whatever. I just didn't have anybody
Yeah.
to talk to in my life, so I just uploaded random videos that happened to, catch on, and then I had some, random things go on that sort of boosted the viewership. When I sort of realized that I wanted to try doing streaming more because I enjoy it, and when I didn't have anybody to talk to in my life, I could just sit around for hours and talk to people on the internet, and it was kind of filling a space in my life that I had been missing. But there was a lot of people when I sort of shifted stream heavy versus video that they just kind of stopped paying attention. And there's been different times, throughout where, it's kind of like you just do a lot of different things. If you want to hit those good numbers and kind of get people going, you kind of have to break out of your comfort zone sometimes and try new things to see like what people are interested in. And for me, I did that, but then I was kind of like, I still like what I like to do, so I'm just gonna keep on doing what I do, even if it's not the most popular. So you kind of it's a crossroads. It's a fork in the road where you got to kind of decide what is the most fun and enjoyable for you.
I can relate to that. I think it's best to just do what you enjoy because like obviously we're very small, we're incredibly tiny, our little slice of YouTube over here, and both all of our individual channels as well. So like like everything we do has to be for fun, otherwise what's the point of doing any of this? Because we're like it would be nice to get big, that'd be cool, but it's not really the whole like that's
Yeah,
not it won't be
the
the
point
end of
is
the world.
mainly just to talk to each other about ideas, about topics that are going along. I kind of like to think of it as like a little time capsule to where once I get old, I can look back on these videos, think like rehear about the topics, like how youthful we all were.
How
you know
youthful we
what
were.
I mean?
We'd be like back when we're old, we're gonna be looking back at these. God damn, we were fucking dumbasses. Holy shit! You hear the things we say? God damn.
Exactly.
Unless somebody.
But yeah, Eggy. Sorry about the guy in the background, but you were mentioning a full-time job, and I saw on Instagram you mentioned that. Can we ask what it is, or are you gonna do like a reveal, or are you just gonna keep it private?
Well, basically, I'm not really being too specific about it right now. I just had like a I'd had recently. I mean, it's whatever, but like just like recently, like a week ago or something, I had some journalists from the BBC or whatever. They're like, oh no, I should say it was from like some tabloids, some rags. So it's probably nothing, but they're like, oh, you're the leader of the incel, so we want to write about you or whatever. And so just shit like that. You never really know. Like I just
Yeah,
want
I
to
get
get
that.
this like this is going to be a very
Yeah, yeah,
nice
yeah.
thing for me, and I would rather if I could just kind of like chill on being like, by the way, type thing. It's just kind of, it's an unfortunate thing, but it's just sort of how it is. So I'm keeping it a little bit under wraps. I think once I kind of get the ball rolling and everything's going well, everything's kind of in motion, I might talk a little bit about this and that here and there if I can, sort of try to make sure that I'm not being too revealing. But it's going to be a job with with driving. I could say that much. I'm gonna have some training coming up here to get certified for that, and it's gonna be good for me. So yeah.
That's fair. You feel free to tell us if you want us to cut anything out too.
But yeah, don't you find it ironic, Iggy, that both of Mumkey's main co-hosts got full-time jobs and stopped recording with him? First Biggs, now you. Like, who's gonna carry the torch after you, Eggy?
I mean, it's a very good point. The job that I'm going to be working, it's got good benefits. I am going to be able to take time off. So, I mean, like for right now, for instance, there's still stuff that we did record, over the last handful of months. Some of it hasn't been released. Some of it has. So I think we'll still find time. We might not, when I visit, or if he visits me, we might not be necessarily just kind of like chilling out, playing video games and whatever, just kind of, just goofing around. It might be more business, focused, about getting things recorded and everything. But I still think that we'll have time for it as far as I'm concerned.
It's good to hear that you still plan on doing stuff, just in general. Eggy, who do you think would win? Pirates or Vikings in a death match?
Okay, we need to set some ground rules. We need to set some fucking like parameters or something, because that's so fucking vague. Because you thought something completely different than what I thought when I heard that question. You thought it was gonna be like a drunken like two guys just right next to each other, like they're in a drunken stupor or some bullshit. And I was like, it's gonna be like a full-on war. It's gonna be like,
Well, before we clarify all that stuff, I do want to hear Eggy's base just perception of who he thinks would win in a duel. Yeah, pirate or Viking?
in a duel. Okay,
Well, my belief is that a Viking would absolutely win, hands down, because I was thinking about this. I had been put onto this topic
Right.
previously, and the way that I see it, a lot of pirates, they're spending months at a time out on a ship. Not that Vikings weren't, but what are pirates doing, physical combat training when they're on land? I don't really think so. They're going to have their apparatuses handy to assist them with, securing stolen loot. They're going to have to, be able to apply some aggression, but I feel like the combat training is not going to be that of a Viking, which, the whole entire thing is Valhalla, die in battle. So they're so battle oriented. They're very combat oriented. And I feel like with a pirate, that's just sort of part of the life, but it's a lot more just being a bandit, and you're just some street trash, some urchin that tagged along to go try and get your share of the special treasure.
So would you say it's more so willpower that carries the Vikings, or like brute strength?
I mean, I would say, I guess I feel like willpower, just because, like I said, their whole inherent ideology is, focused around dying in battle. From the day they're born into a tribe, they're born into a group that is very battle focused. They're going to be battle trained and combat minded, from a very young age, where a pirate is basically just sort of like a criminal scoundrel that was kind of bouncing around until he found something that might be a big break for him. So I feel like with that being considered, I just feel like, Vikings he's not going to ever stop.
That's a very good point.
Fighting until he dies. That's like that's his ascension. That's his afterlife there.
look, man. I get this. I understand that Vikings are more driven by battle. I understand this, and I take that into account. But a pirate has a fucking gun, dude. They would fucking shoot that motherfucker in the goddamn face, and he's dead, dude.
Well, if I may interject, most pirates.
Let's hear it, J-Man, Mr.
No,
J.
because I was honestly like excited for this part. If you have to think about it, most our view of pirates in this argument is very distorted towards our theatrical interpretation of it.
Look,
Scoundrels.
In
I get
reality,
it.
most pirates were just kind
Just
of
what, huh?
like the old FedEx delivery driver. They're
Yeah,
kind of just
look, I
transporting
understand this.
goods
I've
from
read
place to
up on
place.
pirates too. I know that they were, a lot of them happen to be farmers or just like random like fishermen that like just are getting their asses fucked by the European government or whatever the fuck. But one, they have to like harden themselves at some point, because I get it, they are bandits, but they have to they're basically they're stealing from people, and they have to be ready for battle at all times, just in case something fucking happens, because otherwise they're not going to get their shit to get their money. And it's the same for Vikings too. They were basically fucking pirates, but in an older fucking era that didn't have guns. And I understand that it wasn't as accurate as it was before, or as it's shown in movies, or some things like that. Like, I get there's a lot of things that are romanticized by movies, but that doesn't like change the fact that a fucking explosive inside of a fucking thing is shooting out a ball that is going at speeds that can fucking pierce through bone and go all the way through into two people at fucking once, and can kill two people at once if it was given the opportunity
if I'm
to.
going to give my honest opinion right now, I think that
I
sounds
think
like
you guys are
copium.
underestimating how strong a fucking gun is.
No, you do bring up valid points.
It's always with the copium.
But
It's always with the copium with you guys, dude.
Well, I'm just going to say I don't believe, in the pirate heyday, what I would consider like the golden age of piracy, I don't believe that their firearms, although they were, functional and everything to a degree, I feel like they weren't totally 100% a sure ace in the hole, total victory.
It's
I feel
true.
like,
I will admit. But I think we also researched and found that a lot of pirates carried like fucking 6 guns on them at a time, like at once, just because so they didn't have to reload, basically.
I think the better debate here would be who had more style, pirates or Vikings.
Pirates, if pirates weren't stinky for being on that ship the whole time, I feel like they'd have good swag. They'd have some good swag.
I'll give you guys this. I think Vikings got more swag than pirates do.
You think Vikings have more swag? Maybe they're like spiritual, like Valhalla, like esque traditional clothing.
Jacob, I don't think you understand like how shitty like actual pirate clothes were. Like, that's something that's been romanticized in movies, is how cool they look.
No, I know. I'm saying that if they weren't stinky and like dirty from their little escapades,
Their
like if they got
throw-up.
fresh clothes, like before they even go on the boat, like they're getting ready to go, they're looking all spiffy and all that. Maybe they could have some swag to them, and maybe just like a little bit into the boat voyage, they'd get a little like a little gruff, little scruff looking, like just that battle hardened. They're ready. The sunburn. Yeah, swag related, not power.
We just switch sides when the argument becomes swag.
Pirates or Vikings?
Well, I feel like basically, I think the pirate captains, I think they would be better than Vikings, but I feel like the average Viking versus the average pirate, like I said, the way that I view pirates are basically, more or less criminals who, were thrown on a ship to, get, like, they just, might be just in prison their whole life or dying in the streets. So this is what they're doing instead. Versus the average Viking, they're going to be not well dressed necessarily. They might not be super clean. They might be pretty gritty, but they are going to have certain ancestral, heirlooms, things in the family. There's going to be certain, weapons and armor and idols and trinkets that they're going to have with them that I feel like the average Viking is going to have a little bit more swag because of that than the average pirate would.
That makes sense. I would agree with that.
I think I could. I think I could completely agree with that too. But I need to look at real clothes because I swear the real clothes I saw on like some pirate
Oh, you
painting was
saw it?
like
Oh, you said
fucking
painting term.
yeah, like okay, the real life pirates that I met in my life. I saw the clothes that they were selling, and I was like, damn, Vikings could really beat them in a fashion contest. But the paintings that I saw, they look like they're wearing like fucking aristocrat like old European aristocrat fucking costumes that look like absolute shit because like the
Yeah.
ones that have like the tights and like the stupid baggy looking like bottoms
Oh, you
and
mean
shit.
swag.
Like that's what they
You
look
mean
like.
swag.
You know what? You are so right, Jacob.
But yeah, completely off topic. Eggy, would you ever go on the Joe Rogan podcast?
You know what? Just because, like I said, the way that I live my life is I never turn any challenge down. I'll do anything just to give it a try one time. So I sure would. Absolutely, 100%.
Nice of our teammates would.
That would propel
What you're
you into
saying is you would
superstardom.
fight him. What you're saying is you would fight Joe Rogan in an MMA
Is
match.
that your official statement, Eggy?
Would you like to make that official on the Brain Damage podcast? We have all mics towards you.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I would throw down with him. I don't have any training. My neck might be snapped instantly. My entire skeleton might dissolve in one punch. But I'm willing and at least physically and mentally capable enough to dress myself, which is basically all I need to get in the ring. So,
That's
I mean, nowadays with these YouTuber boxing events, am I right, guys?
Are you looking forward to Sam's boxing coming up?
I am absolutely, yeah.
I'm pretty hyped.
Somebody posted this Thompson guy, like, so his whole thing is that he like plays violin while women like twerk next to him, and he's had some really disturbing videos that he's posted that really are just like really disturbing to look at. Like he had this one. There's this chick that I think she calls herself. She did an interview on Soft White Underbelly. I think she calls herself Mary Magdalene. She has like these enormous fake breasts and enormous fake butt cheeks that are like 5 feet out in front of her. And she was like twerking and like shaking her, hardly stitched together body without exploding.
Got a double kick.
I just really want to see Sam just like put his like I want it to get turned into pancake batter or something like just like goo, just like smash them into like molecules.
Ooh, like jelly,
Some atomic particles, like what happens when the Large Hadron Collider collides. I want Sam's fist to collide that hard into his skull.
Yeah, that's gonna be his fist.
I know. I mean, I know he loves to play
that's funny.
violin, but after he gets some of that clobber in time from the Candy Man, I don't know. He might lose a few brain cells. I don't know, but we'll see.
He's gonna get a toothache if you know what I'm saying. That's awesome.
Give him the old 1-2. Give him the old 1-2.
Did you?
None of us.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Did you hear? I believe Sam was on a podcast recently. And he was talking about his outfit when he's coming out, and he said he got a lady to like custom make his outfit, and it's like a bunch of patches that say a bunch of random shit, and I'm so looking forward to that. Just that absurdity when he walks out.
What I was gonna say is that none of us are really the greatest iDubbbz fans anymore due to not recent events. But it's been a while now at this point.
Well, I would say it's just
I mean,
overall,
I
just
still enjoy his content. I'm just not the biggest fan of him anymore. But still, the point is, did you ever watch or attend the Creator Clash that he put together?
Did I attend the Creator Clash this year? Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, yes he did. Yeah, he did. He was in a Bo Burnham video. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was a nice little Easter egg to see you in there with Emp.
Oh, you were with
and
them.
Rusty.
That's pretty cool.
Standing there.
Well, I don't know if they were together as a group, but they went to the same
the
event.
thing was,
Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't expect to go until probably like 2 weeks ahead of time.
Okay.
I think Rusty and Emp, they had their tickets like months in advance. But when I had heard about it before, I'm like, well, who cares about that? I don't care. I don't even know who these YouTubers are. I don't give a shit about this. But then Rusty's like, yo, we're going to party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, all right, let's go, baby. And I just basically pulled up and got shit-faced. So, yeah.
How'd you
That's
enjoy the
awesome.
event then? We made a podcast because we were really into it.
I mean, I had a really good time with it. Basically, I was like up in the nosebleeds, but I had people getting out of their seats and like walking over, just like shake my hand and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
People
that's
were
awesome.
buying me drinks, so after I had a few in
Wow.
me, I was like screaming commentary about the fight. Like I didn't even know who these people were, and I was just like in my section, just like screaming at the top of my lungs. And usually people want to like punch me when I do
That's
that,
awesome.
but the
That's
people around
awesome.
me, they really enjoyed that I was commentating so effectively, I guess. So yeah, everything was all smiles. I'm definitely the kind of guy that can get into a lot of trouble, and I'm glad I didn't when I was out there. It was just really all positive energy, so that was good.
What's your
Yeah,
opinion
that's
on
good. That's
on
good.
Sam High not being allowed to show up?
Well, I had anticipated him to be there, which was also part of the reason why I decided to go, because Sam had messaged me and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm going to be there. I'll see you there." And I was like, "Okay, well, if Rusty says it's a party, Sam's going to be there. Sounds like fun."
Yeah, it's really
And
building
then Sam
up.
wasn't there, so and then we all went to the weigh-in on Friday night, and so like iDubbbz was like telling Harley that night, and he was like telling the Sam's guys that were there, he was like really like stressing about all that, like them being around and stuff. Like he was really upset about it.
Dude.
Like I thought, like I was hanging out with those guys, and I saw them like going somewhere, so I was like gonna go walk to and like talk with them, or whatever. And then like all of a sudden Harley comes out. He's like, "You guys, we gotta talk." And so then like they all went over together, and it was about what iDubbbz had like taken Harley aside and basically told him like, no funny business. Otherwise, I'll pull whatever I gotta pull if there's any funny business.
Even Harley told him. That's crazy to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I guess he probably had to. I guess it's kind of understandable. It seems weird to just be like. It seems weird to just incriminate someone on something they haven't even done yet. So like,
Yeah, it's kind of beta mindset. if you think
they're on
about
the
it.
soy jack side of the spectrum.
It's because they're afraid. It's because they know they fucked over Sam, so they knew that he's probably gonna do some shit. But yeah, unfortunate. Which is why, because he didn't show up to that event, is why I'm really looking forward to his boxing event. Are you gonna attend that live, or are you just gonna come in for the stream?
Well, stream for sure. I intend to go if it makes sense with my new job. I'm not going to be started yet, but it's sort of like, I don't know if it's going to be a little tight. So basically, right now I still have a little bit of wiggle room to figure things out. Like, but it's it's going to be. I'll probably figure out for sure within the next few days. But if not now, I hope to be able to attend, because obviously it's just a little difficult. If it was in like any other place, like inside the U.S., there's no doubt I'd be front row. But it's just like a $2,000 or actually no, it was like a $1,500 flight or whatever. Then accommodations, and I just know I've never been out of the country. I just don't know. Like it's a little dicey for me, but I would like to. I'm still not totally set 100% yet, though.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Yeah, and it's the plane prices have been insane lately.
Oh my God,
just to do like a 200-mile flight is like $400.
Yeah, I know. He in relative like terms, where Jacob, we don't like to give like any like place of like where we live, but like where Jacob lives right now, it's like somewhat close, like plane flight to get to where the rest of us live. And it was like fucking it was like $400-$500 to fly down here, and and then after like a month or so it went down a lot somehow, but like it seems like all the plane prices are really like fucking fidgety right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's to do with fuel. I feel like it's to do with staffing issues. I feel like there's kind of like a multi-level problem with everything. But I'm just out here, I'm living my life, I'm out here doing my thing in the world, and I'm like, hey, you know what? As long as I get to wake up and take another breath, then I'm ready for the next page, I'm ready for the next chapter, I'm ready and excited and optimistic. Even if it all goes terribly, terribly wrong, you know what? If it's every man for himself, you know what? I'll bet on me. I'll do the best I can every time.
That's all anyone can ask for. That's all you can ask for yourself.
It's honestly, truly, just what you truly need is just that affirmation in your mind. Even if it's not true, just having that thought is, oh my God, just having that thought in your mind.
Just keep at it. Come on, we know you have a roommate. Like you don't. It's all right.
Yeah,
Everything's all right. We can. We'll edit him out. We'll specify the audio and
I'll make sure
remove
the
his
mic's on.
parts. No.
Yeah, exactly. Here, I'll leave the mic on so you can hear him.
Anyways,
And then he said silent.
well, Eggy,
Yeah.
with all this YouTube boxing phenomenon going on, you have any plans to throw your gloves in the ring and take anyone down? You want to call anyone out right now? Where you got the mics in your face right now? Go.
All right, you know what, Jordy Jordan, Wings of Redemption. I heard that he didn't take very kindly to my representation of him. If he wants to get in the ring about it, you know what, lose that weight, take the fight, and make some money, as Band once said. I think we're both on equal footing. We're both mostly the size of pudding. I'm talking about we're a little bit jiggly, but we're about to get in the ring and get wiggly. I'm talking about flipping and flopping and it ain't stopping.
That's good. He's
calling him out. He's calling him out right now.
White Jordan, this is your boy Eggy. I heard that you're a plump pimp. Well, guess what? I don't know what kind of hose you're getting, but I got some blows for you, Jordy. Yeah, so why don't you lose a few O's? I'm talking about ounces. I'm talking about pounds. And let's get in the ring and do that thing. Yeah, I know you like to sing, Jordy. Well, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's have a thing.
For some reason.
Let's dance.
Throwing them in the cauldron. They're gonna be steaming up this entire ring.
Yeah. Again, unrelated because my mind randomly trails off.
Okay.
But do you remember going to the Garbage Mice podcast? How was that experience? Like I listened to it and it sounded like a good time, but like I'm mainly talking about the before and after. Like how were they?
Yeah,
were they different than in podcasts?
I think that first episode I did, it was really good. I enjoyed that. Not that I didn't enjoy the second episode. The second episode, I think that I did the most recent one. It was just a lot heavier, like which was fine, but it was a good experience both times. I would say I just I like to just talk my talk, and that was very doable. I just know that the second one was kind of a little bit more in depth. I'm not the most like deep guy. I know sometimes I might like say deep things, but I don't really think about like too much. I'm somebody who kind of is like I like to stay at the surface level where it's nice and comfortable and not think about anything.
That's respectable, and I completely understand.
It's hard to think about things sometimes.
Yeah, just for perspective, literally our last podcast episode, we went super in deep about the meaning of life. Got pretty heavy.
But at least we
wanted
think
to
so.
definitely.
This is our perspective of what heavy
Yeah,
is.
that's what we think so. But yeah, I'm glad we get to pick up the mood with this podcast. It's so nice to have you on again.
Are we done?
Thank you.
It also, like, me being in Disney,
Well,
fucking saw me before lunch.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Before we go, yesterday I told you that I've been trying to get into music, and I'm pretty new to producing, so like I wanted to run something
make a
by
little
you.
something.
I want to run something by you and see if you would like to partake and rap over it, maybe
your initial reaction to it, and then maybe some freestyle in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Everyone, all right, Eggy, freestyle to this hot beat.
All right, talk to him. Hold on. Oh, can you run it back one time?
What?
He said he'd run it back.
I didn't. Yeah, run it back one time. I need to get a little taste.
That's
what I meant initially. Yeah, just get the taste. And then after you get the flavor, you're gonna start spitting.
Yeah, I got you.
That's right.
I got you, bro.
Yeah. Hold up. I'm out here, my Pokemon gym, I'm master, I'm catching all them, my Pokedex max, and I don't mean to flex, but that they've been writing me the checks, say the champion mode, I killed all the bros, knocked them on the floor, now there's some hoes, let me take them off, let me break them off, all the Pokemon, I get them caught, with the Ultra Ball, I don't need a master, I'm gonna get it faster.
Honestly, Eggy, you made that beat so much better than I thought it could ever be. You elevated the beat.
Eggy, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I bought My Singing Monsters Composer yesterday, and I just started fucking around with it.
Nat.
Well, it sounded like video game music, so that's how I came in with it.
No, that's good. Okay, last thing. Actual last thing is thank you so much for helping me with my Mumkey short film contest. I don't know if you saw the video, but do you think I will win his contest? with you being a guest star in it.
Sponsor, even.
A sponsor.
Well, I think it's a good step, but I will say it's now. I have complete faith. I do have complete faith. Don't get me wrong. I do think so. But I did have a guy run. He asked me to preview one that he did, and I'm just gonna. He had Florian come into his one.
No way! That's awesome.
And it was like he like filmed. It was like a skit, and I think like Florian was like he had like a book, and like the book was open, and like that was like Florian was like a possessed book, and it was like talking to him or something.
That's awesome. Holy shit.
Just say it.
It was pretty interesting, and it was funny because they were both very good, and for all I know, remember, dude, you remember when dude made Sneedhead or whatever? That shit was like insane. Or no, that was for Kino
It really
Corner.
was.
That was for the Kino Corner Film Festival. But somebody might go above and beyond like that and just shit on everybody. But I don't know. But I thought both you and that other guy that had me preview his, I thought you guys are both very good.
No, really, honestly, I'm really excited to see it. And I didn't expect to win. I mainly did it. I put it in the description of the video, but I mainly did it to get Manuel, the other guy that was here, I wanted him to start his thing, but he just never really committed. He had like the idea in his head, and I thought it was a really funny idea, but he just never committed. So I ended up only doing a video that essentially it meant to be like a prod to him to do his. But yeah, well, I'm glad you respect it. You know, it's honestly the most effort I put into any of my YouTube videos, and it shows.
It
If
shows.
you look at any of my other videos, but you should not do that because they're awful. But I think, yeah, that was it. Thank you so much, Eggy, for being here.
It was a pleasure.
It's such a pleasant experience to talk to you and hear about the connections you have and your willingness to come talk to us small folk. It's honestly heartwarming. It's very
like I said, I'm an old man. I'm an old geezer. You know, I eat garbage off the side of the road, so I'm just a guy. But it's always fun to be a part.
Hey
man, I love you for it. Thank you so much for being on.
We appreciate you coming here. Manuel would have some words, carries the podcast, but
he might cry a little, but
it'd be a little emotional. I think it'd probably be the best ending we've ever had to a podcast if he were here. But unfortunately,
well, he ruined it.
Yeah, he absolutely. You know what? This podcast is dog shit. I'm glad that he's gone. We can finally burn it to the ground.
Nice.
Well, again, thank you, Eggy. And that's going to wrap it for this episode.
Oh, peace. Yeah. Hold up. I'm out here, my Pokemon gym. You know I'm master. I'm catching all them. Yeah, my Pokedex max. And I don't mean to flex, but you know that they been right me to check. Say the champion mode. Yeah, I killed all the bros. Knocked them on the floor. Yeah, now there's some hoes.